Hey there, everybody. How's it going? It's going to be a new kind of series for me. I've been playing a lot of Dark and Darker, really enjoying the Rogue, but I decided I'd go ahead and try the Warlock because they unlocked it and made it for free. I didn't actually have too big of a problem with them doing that for the way they were going to do it, where you could get it with blue shards or red shards, and I was just going to earn the blue shards, but I only had three and a half, so I'm pretty glad they ended up going ahead and unlocking it for everybody. I hope they find a new way to monetize, though, because they definitely deserve it. Anyway, I just hopped into Goblin Caves, basic setup. I was really surprised with how well this Blow of Corruption works, even with a basic staff. That archer did take a little bit of beating, but my main goal was just to get some cash so that I could get some gear. And I didn't really like the spells. I've seen some videos on YouTube of people using spells. For the most part, I wanted to be melee focused. My main classes are the fighter to start. I played a lot of fighter with my friend Chris. And I really enjoyed rogue for solo. And, you know, this rogue, I don't know if he was low or what, but he was being really cautious. He really just wanted to get out. And then I did Blow of Corruption, just smacked him in the back of the head, and he went down right away. Blow of Corruption is incredibly powerful. It adds an additional 20 magic damage to whatever your hit is, and that scales with your magic power. So, I'm really enjoying it. Me and this barb did a little dance for a long time. He didn't want to get in range of my curse, and I didn't want him to close the distance enough so that he could hit me with his axe, because he could pretty easily just one-shot me. So, we're just dancing back and forth for a good minute. I really wanted that portal, he really wanted the portal, so we just kept going on and on. But the reason I'm playing the Warlock is I was having such a great time on the road, but I found that if I saw a fighter, even in basic gear, like going in with basic gear grace, I had to run. If I used my, what's it called, you render their, it's not rupture, sorry, you render their armor and hit really hard, and anyway, it's really nice. But you have to hit that and then back up for their adrenaline rush or their heal to end. And you have to be able to outrun them, and then you have to come back. You can't just take them head on. What I like about the Warlock is this Blow of Corruption, which reduces their healing by 70%. And if you hit it, you can screw them up pretty well. So I got out and I got some basic gear. Got a falchion, some strength leather, some basic leather, and I decided to go right back in. And it's quite an enjoyable experience. I'm having a good time with it so far. I got it to level 15 yesterday, and I got a lot of good clips that I'm going to be sharing. And I figured I'd do kind of a commentary over it. I definitely feel like they scale really well with gear, but maybe not as well as with a rogue or a fighter. I definitely feel stronger when I have like blue gear, but I find that I do almost as well without it. Just going in with some basic gray stuff like this with a falchion, I felt like I was as effective as with others. And that might be because Blow of Corruption is just so strong right now that no matter what you put it on, it's going to really hurt the enemy. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Just take out these bats and figure out where I want to go. I had mostly played crypts at this point. I knew my way around the Goblin Caves relatively well, but I didn't know how to get, you know, A to B to C. With the 3 levels, it can get pretty confusing. This is the central room. I think it's the only room that has access to all 3 levels. But I decided to go this way because it's the way I knew best. If I'd known more about the map, I would have gone down and to the left up that stone ramp, and it would have taken me to the Goblin Treasury. But I really just wanted to get into some trouble and see how this falchion does. And this guy knows I'm coming, so he buffs himself up pretty well. But he leaves his staff out. I'm not really sure what his plan was. Maybe he was getting ready for the fight in front of him. This wizard comes running out here. He's fleeing somebody, so I'm going to loot this as quickly as I can. And I am at half health, so I chug a potion, back up, get some space, and just kind of figure out what I need to do. Back into the main chamber, just try to heal up a little bit. There's a guy down there. Looks like a fighter. I'll head back into the chamber because I really want to get over to the Goblin Treasury. I see that rogue down there. So that's a warrior, a rogue, and a wizard and a cleric. All in the same room with me. And this fighter over here doesn't seem to want to fight. And I don't really want to tangle with a fire right now either. So I get out the ale, and I'm thinking maybe I'll just chug it and go for it. But I decide to see if he really is friendly. When he pulls out the pickaxe, I decide he probably is. He just wants to get his ruby silver and go. So we pass. One of the few times I've been nice to people. And I go ahead and head across the bridge. This archer is always super scary. I probably should have stopped and attacked it, but I don't like to fight it out here in the open. So I decided to pull it behind the palisades, and I noticed this dead rogue. Blow of corruption to the head, and then another strike, and he's down. So blow of corruption is super strong with the falchion. The falchion itself is just really strong right now. And he actually had a great hood and gloves for me. So, really grateful that this dude passed right there. It's kind of weird that he brought in such a good helmet and gloves, but he didn't have a weapon at all. And then this guy, he's the friendly one, but there's someone behind him that obviously isn't, so I try to open the door for both of us so we can get through. And that's not actually the friendly guy that's close behind me. So, I just keep getting space. I'm really glad that he didn't smack me in the back of the head. For some reason, he was more interested in getting through the door. But he clearly wants a fight. And I have PTSD from my rogue, where I just really, really don't like fighting fighters. And he's in full gear. I can't tell what quality it is, but I can tell that he's in the full gear set. And he is ready for a battle. And so I go ahead and chug my ale. I'm a big believer in ale. It doesn't really affect your vision too much at all unless you're looting. And I start zigzagging towards them, hoping that I can land them. And thankfully, my blow of corruption goes past the shield, and I defeat him. And I get a little too excited here, a little too happy, but I can't tell you how many times I've died to fighters on my rogue, and I was just so pissed at him for just pursuing me relentlessly because he felt so sure that he was going to be able to take me out. So we ended up having a green Viking sword and a green helmet, but otherwise he was pretty undergeared. I decided to leave the loot because I was going to go to the Goblin Treasury, and I didn't want to be full of stuff. I probably should have gone ahead and grabbed those 2 items and then just dumped them, because I don't think I ended up getting too much loot. The circle didn't pull to it, and I decided to go to the upper floor instead of down, which was probably a mistake. I'm kind of panicking here because I have the swarm at my back and the spider in front of me and this whole room of stuff, and I didn't even notice, but this is the same guy that I spared earlier and that spared me. We had kind of a gentleman's agreement, and it wasn't until I hit him in the fucking face that I noticed that. I would have helped him with the goblins if I had, because why be nice 1 minute and then rude the next, and that was really mean of me. So, kind of feel bad about that one. But I was just panicking so hard because I didn't want to lose this gear set and go back to square one again. He only ended up getting 1 ruby silver ore, poor guy. But I go ahead and grab the gloves, and I want that pair of strength legs, because those are really good. I'll go ahead and grab them too. And he's got to just be so upset. I wonder if he knows who I was, because it was at this point that I realized. So I need to heal up. I want to get the circle and then probably sit down. So I'm looking to find a nice quiet corner just inside circle. I need to push towards that as quickly as I can. Since I'm not looted up, I go ahead and break these vases, these urns. These urns are some of the best things in the game for loot, and it is very noisy to hit them, but I would say that they have better loot than chests on average. Shouldn't have let that spider hit me, but I was trying to get the chest open. decide I'm not going to get that chest open until I take care of this, because once you aggro the pot, it seems to just spew them right out at you. They come straight for you. And then a bat descends from the ceiling. I find these to be some of the most annoying creatures in the game. They take way too many hits to take down. They don't really hit you as often as, say, the skulls, though. The skulls, they can change direction as they're shooting at you, so you really have to be on your toes. Trying to see if the centipede's in there, and it is, and I'm very low. So I really don't want to deal with him or run by, because I don't even know if the area in front of him is clear. So I just kind of play for time. Decide to go around. And there's the portal. So it was a pretty good run. I only got 1 kill, I think, right? But ended up looting 3 different people. And got a little bit of loot and just kind of practiced a little bit. And something that I found later was I really enjoy running it completely without spells. So I end up running it from here on out with the evade. I forget what it's called, but it makes you blue and it makes it so that physical attacks can't hit you. Almost out of the trap there. And then I run the Blow of Corruption as well. And I think that it's a very strong setup. You can't wear plate, but I would say as long as you hit that Blow of Corruption, you're good. The one thing I did run into is that if, say, a fighter blocks your Blow of Corruption with a shield, it uses it up and puts it on cooldown for, I think, 12 to 15 seconds. And that's a scary situation to be in, because at that point, you're just in a straight-up melee duel with a fighter, and he's going to win. And you're not really fast enough to disengage, especially if they have sprint. So it's kind of a gamble from what I've seen. But maybe if they pop sprint, you have your evade up, and you can run away and ghost form. I'm really enjoying the class, though. I'm going to upload some more on it. I think I'm going to main this class because it's very nuanced. It's very simple because it's in progress right now. Like, I'm very disappointed in the perks, for example. There aren't very many good perks, and most of them seem to be centered around casting. But it is quite enjoyable, and I enjoy the up-close and personal brawling. Blow of Corruption just feels too good not to use right now. I feel like they might nerf it, but if they do nerf it, they're going to have to give us something else, because it feels very much like that's the only game in town. If you want to be a caster Warlock, I just don't see it being viable right now. The curses are kind of fun, Hellfire's kind of cool, but overall, people can sidestep Hellfire, Curse of Pain doesn't do enough, and you're definitely going to need a falchion or some other kind of weapon if you're going to go the casting route, because you're still going to need melee. So I would rather just go full melee and not have a crystal ball in my offhand or a magic's book. But, you know, maybe you like things different. Maybe you would like to do the falchion crystal ball thing and do both. I think it's definitely viable to do that, but I think it's a little bit stronger to just go ahead and have your escape route with the ghost form. But that'll do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Until next time, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.